Right, so this morning's job, we've got a water pump to do on this IS 250 V6. Pull the engine cover off. You can see down there, where's the water pump pulley? You can't really see it. It's sort of in here. It's got loads of play in it. Water pump's shot to pieces, the bearings are gone. So we've got to take it out and replace it. So we're going to start, obviously we're taking the engine cover off, take this front panel off, just give us a bit more room. And you've got your thermostat housing on the top. I think that's got to come off. Take the plastic cover off there. Those are bits to remove just to get access, but a little video for you guys to see how we do it. So first things first, we're going to remove this front panel. It's got all these little button clips. You just flick the centers out, like so. And you could probably do the job without taking this off, but if we give ourselves a bit more access, it just makes it a nicer thing to do. And these front clips push the centers in, and then they're put out like so. I think we'll remove this as well, this intake pipe. So we've got a 10mm bolt. Another clip. Right, hoses feel like they're empty already anyway because the pump's leaking so badly. So we'll whip these off. In fact, I'm just going to take that hose the whole way off, get it out of the way. This little hose out of the way. Right, and then we're going to remove this wiring harness off the top so we can get this plastic cover off the front of the head. And you got 2 10mm nuts holding that on, or 3. 1, 2. Not sure if you can see that. So we're going to unbolt this harness here. So 1 nut, 2 nuts, 3 nuts down there. And we get that plug out there as well, give us a bit more wiggle room. There we go. The trick is we want to get this plastic cover off here. Right, so we've got this harness out of the way. I'll just use a little bungee cord just to hold it so it doesn't get in our way at all. And then we got these 3 plastic nuts. 1, 2, 3. Come on, baby. 3. And then hopefully lose that cover somehow. Come off. There we go. Right, now we've got access and we can see the pump and the pulley. I'm just going to crack the nuts off that hold the pulley onto the front of the pump. Just while the belt's on, so hopefully it should hold it in place. And with the water pump pulley bolts slackened off, we're going to get on the drive belt tensioner there. I've got a 14mm socket on it, and it's just a case of flicking it back. You see, it gets nice and loose. I'm going to put the camera down because I can't do both at the same time, but... Oh, now we've got the belt, if you can see how frayed it is. Obviously where the water pump pulley's been, well, where the bearings are worn and the water pump pulley's not been running true, it's been rubbing on whatever, so that belt's knackered. Got a nice shiny new one to go on. Right, just going to take them bolts out that we loosened before from the front pulley, from the water pump pulley. There you go, you can see how bad that pulley really is. That pump is absolutely shot. Right, now it's time to try and tackle this thermostat housing, this water manifold here. So to get this off, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more hoses that we need to pull off. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M6 bolts. We should be able to wiggle that off. So if you're having trouble getting these hoses off, just get some pliers, don't pinch too hard, get them to twist and then they should just pull off. Just like that. Alright, so we've got all the bolts out of this. So we give it a little wiggle, come off the main coolant pipe that goes in between the V. We should do. A little bit of persuasion. Go. Just like that. Right, next step, need to remove this plastic cover here. I think we've got some kind of ECU in there. So again, get on with these plastic nuts, they just unscrew. Right, we've got 1, 2, one on the bottom, 3, 4 bolts holding that on. So 3 bolts, 2 nuts to the bolt. So we can see the whole water pump. It's all the little M6 or 10mm head bolts that we need to take off. This pulley's going to have to come off because it's in the way. Once we get that off, we can then take the pump out. Sweet. Got a 14mm bolt on this. Right, so we removed the pulley. I thought we had to take the tensioner off, but luckily that's not in the way. Oh, that's interesting. There's a load of the old belt wraps around the back of that, so we need to get that out. It's not very good, is it? Get out of there. Anyway, that's moving freely now. Right, so we now want to start attacking all these bolts, getting all these out. So we've got 10mm and 12mm, and about 4.8 million of them to go. Aha. That's fun. Well, so it turns out we do have to take the pulley off the tensioner because I just can't get that 12mm there. So this is reverse thread on this. So righty loosey, take that off there. Then we've got all the access. Right, where were we? She's out. Ooh. So all the ball bearings have departed. Bits of plastic and all sorts in there. That's not very well, is it? So that's certainly seen better days. And all the swarf in the coolant system there. All the aluminium where it's been destroying itself. That's very good. So remove the old gasket. See all the swarf on the back. Well, next step, we want to clean all that out and obviously clean this face here, the mating face for the new gasket. We want that super clean. Otherwise, we're not going to get a good watertight seal. Just going to use this brake cleaner just to get the majority of the swarf out, but obviously before we top it back up, what I'm going to do is flush the coolant system out, because no doubt all that's going to be hidden in all the engine, and we don't want any of that nastiness in there. Well, now we've got the surface on the block and the heads all cleaned up, I've just used a bit of brake cleaner to degrease this. I'm going to put a little tiny bit silicone on there. Obviously we've got a new gasket, pop that on there, and then a little bit on that face so that it's nice and watertight when it goes back on the engine. Just like that. Right, we now need to offer this up. Obviously we've got our bolts ready to go in. Well, the trick is with this, because you've got so many bolts, you want to get them all in loose before you tighten any of them up, otherwise you tighten them up and you won't be able to get the others in. Right, so I've just been round and nipped them all up by hand. It's all nice, torqued up properly. Alright, next step, we're going to get this thermostat housing back on. So I'll put a new O-ring on that pipe there, so put a little bit of grease on that just to help drive it home. Alright, so we've got a new O-ring on here as well. Try and do this one-handed. It's going to be super duper fun. Okay, so I gave up trying to video it with one hand and put it in with the other. But anyway, you can see that it's back in its home. Now we just got the bolts that bolt it on to the front there. You've got the two there, and then one either side at the top. Again, put a little time up. Right, with that all bolted up, we can now put the CCU back in place. So we got it jammed in there, that's fun. There we go. When you've got two hands, it's a lot easier. We can now get our cover back on. Nice and fiddly. Got our two plastic nuts here. They should just push on, just like that. Nice. Okay, with the cover back on, we're going to start putting all our hoses back on. Right, that's all our hoses back on, obviously, other than this main top hose. But we'll do that after. Now we can put this plastic trim panel, or this plastic cover panel back on there. Wire and harness can get bolted back down, and we can get the hose on. And again, it's much easier with two hands. Actually, I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to bolt our tensioner pulley back on. Again, reverse thread. And then we've also got our idler pulley to go back on, which is normal thread. I mean, we could have done this after bolting the wire and harness on, but it gives us a little bit more room with it up out the way. Alright, now we've got to get the front pulley on the water pump here. I've got my assistant on the camera because I'm going to need both my hands for this job. And an extra pair of eyes by the looks of things. What do you reckon, Aaron? I'll get a bolt in the pulley first and then...
Looks good.
I always have this problem trying to find the hole. I reckon about there. Come on, baby. Where are you hiding? There. Oh, he's got it. And just drive it in nice and deep. Just like that. And what we do, we put these bolts in. We don't have to tighten them right up yet. I'll get the belt on and that will hold the pulley still. And then we can torque all these up. Just like that. Bosh. Alright, it's the belt on, it's the pulley torqued up, it's everything tight. And obviously I do need to put this hose back on, but because of all the swarf and everything in there, I'm going to put a hose in there, I'm going to blow all the system out, clean it all out, get all the shit out of there so it's nice, and then obviously put fresh coolant in and fresh water and all that. So other than that, job is finito, done and dusted. So yeah, that's how you change a water pump on a Lexus IS 250. Thanks for watching.